What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Austin. As always, this is the sports stage. We're doing some Thursday night football bets here. We're doing Dolphins-Bills game. These are 4-player props to try to cash us out, start our week off right. If you guys followed my channel before, you guys know I do a lot of player props. And just put out a video about 5 minutes ago on the sportsbook for this game as well. Go check that video out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you get all my videos, all my picks straight to your phone. I'm going to move me out of the way and just get right into the picks, guys. Just kind of dive right in. First, like I said, Dolphins-Bills. These are 4 picks for that specific game, Thursday Night Football. We're going Tua Tagovailoa. Right now, his line is set at 265.5 passing yards. So let's click on it. Let's do a little dive in here. This is his passing yard line, okay? Head to head, last 5, last 10. You guys can see all these different graphs that props.cash gives us. We're going to look at 2023. No, we're not, because that, for some reason, is off. Let's look at his last 10. So Tua, over his last 10 games, obviously you see 338 right here against Jacksonville. He went under this quite a bit in those last 10 games. 243 yards right here, 280, 240. You guys are seeing this graph just like I am right here. So Tua Tagovailoa has been under it in 6 of his last 10 games. This dates back to November of last year, November 19th, right before Thanksgiving. But it's a new year. Healthy team right now. You guys saw what he did last week against Jacksonville. 338 freaking yards. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill both went over 100 yards. Tyreek Hill had one of the best games he's had as a Dolphin, and he almost went for 2,000 yards last year. That's saying a lot. A lot of these games right here at the end of the season, without Tyreek, when he got hurt, and that kind of ruined his chance at 2,000 yards. But, guys, I'm going to take the over here. I'm going to show you why. Sleeper, BetMGM, Caesars, all these books here have his lines different, right? There's 264, 260, all the way up to 269. Sleeper's got it at 269 at minus 121 odds to go over, minus 138 to go under. So they think it's going to go under at 269. Looking right here, though, 266.5, 265.5. All these books where they're at that line have it even. They say it's a coin flip. Fanatics, FanDuel, 264 and 260. Fanatics has the over favored slightly. FanDuel has it a coin flip as well at 264. We're getting this line at 266. I'm doing these picks on Dabble. I'll tell you why I'm doing these on Dabble, guys. Dabble lets us correlate picks. So we can what I mean by that, we can take, say last week, for example, if we took Tua over on passing yards and Tyreek over on receiving yards, both those picks hit, you win that pick. I actually happened to take Tua over on passing yards, Tyreek over on longest reception at 21.5, hit that pick. So you guys can see what I mean by correlation there. Dabble allows us to do that. Some of these other apps don't allow that. You can't correlate your picks and stack them like that so that you, when one guy goes over, the next guy's more than likely going to go over. Just think about it. It's the maths. As the kids say nowadays, if Tua's going over on his yards, who's he throwing to? Probably his top targets, right? Which would be Waddle and Hill for the Dolphins situation. So Tua over 266 yards. That's what I'm saying is going to happen. This is based on this season, Mike McDaniel's offense here right now, what we saw against Jacksonville. I don't think the Bills have a defense that's a ton better than the Jaguars. Both are kind of going to be middle-of-the-road defenses. I don't think either has a stacked defense. The Bills haven't been as good last year as they were in the previous 3 or 4 years. I don't think they're going to be as good this year as they were in those 3 or 4 years previous as well. So I think Tua's going over on 266 yards. Then we're going to correlate that with his receiver. Like I just said, doing this correlation with the picks, guys, it's a way to give us an edge over the books because we can stack them and get basically one win for the price. Or what am I trying to say? 2 wins for the price of 1. I had that backwards at first. So you see there's Hill up here. We got Waddle. And then we don't really have any other lines to look at for the Dolphins because those are their targets. The Dolphins throw to Hill and they throw to Waddle and they do it well. So we're taking Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill's line is at 97.5. That's a lot for one receiver. I know Tyreek is Tyreek and he's probably going to do it. I'm not going to lie. But I don't feel confident making a play on the over when it's damn near 100 yards for a receiver. I do feel confident, however, with Jalen Waddle's over. His line is at 63.5. The projection here is at 80.37. So that's 16-point difference there. This is props.cash projections. I don't know what goes into their algorithm and where they get that, but I have found it to be pretty darn accurate. I used it with some of my baseball picks for pitchers and strikeouts and win totals, things like that. And the props.cash projections are pretty freaking accurate. So I'm going to trust them with football now that the NFL season has started. College football as well. I'll be doing some college football plays here this week, just like we did last week. Looking at Jalen Waddle's line, his graph here. This right here is the line where it's set 64.5 receiving yards. We're getting it at 64, so we actually have a half yard less. If he gets 64, we push instead of losing because we're going to take him on the over as well. You see, like I told you, with Tua minus 115, that those odds being the same right there, that's just the book calling it a coin flip at basically 50-50 chance for each side to hit. 109 is what he got against Jacksonville. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but the Dolphins' offense was lighting it up statistically. Now, if you look at the total for the game is at 49. So that means both teams, they think, are going to score right around 49 points combined. That's not a ton of points, but if you look at how they did it last week, they only scored 20 points to win that game. But they still lit up the stat sheet. Tua threw for 300 and, what did I say, 68 yards or something, 338 yards. Jalen Waddle went for over 109 receiving yards. I think he's going to do it again, especially if Tua hits that over. Waddle is hitting his over as well. I do think the Bills are going to have to try to bracket Tyreek. They have to do something to take out the number one target. If you watch last week's NFL games, a lot of teams are Belichickians now. And what I mean by that is they're taking the Belichick model in, we're going to eliminate your top target. Do it with somebody else. If you're going to beat me, you're doing it with somebody else. A lot of teams did that. That's why you saw a lot of those top players actually hit the unders last week. Amon-Ra St. Brown specifically, he's just an example that pops up into my head. They wanted to make sure Amon-Ra did not beat them, and he didn't. But the Lions said, we don't care, we got weapons everywhere, and they went out and won the game anyways. But a lot of teams are doing this. So I anticipate the Bills are going to try to bracket Tyreek, figure out a way to stop him. That leaves Jalen Waddle not necessarily one-on-one coverage because NFL plays a lot of zone coverage, but it leaves him with the ability to find holes in zones because they're not rolling the zone to his side. Like if they're going to roll their coverage, they're going to roll it to Tyreek's side. Formations may change that schematically, but I believe to stop Tyreek Hill, they're going to have to roll over the top of him and help their corners out in stopping that dude. So Jalen Waddle is going to have a lot of opportunity, and if Tua's lighting it up, then Jalen Waddle will as well. Sorry, my dog just barked for some reason. Just distracted me. Anyways, Tua on the over, 266 yards. Jalen Waddle on the over at 64 receiving yards. That's our slip so far. Now let's back out. We're sticking with the Buffalo-Miami game, and we are going to go to passing completions. Where are we at? Right there. Completions. Josh Allen's line is at 21.5 on most books. We're actually going to have it at 22. Dabble did not have it at 21.5, so he's got to get to 22, but we can push. Right here, 22 wins it. We're not getting the win there. We're just going to get the push. If you see here, guys, over his last 10 games, only 4 times he's been over it. Last week, he only had 18 completions. The reason I'm saying I think he's going to go higher is because, like I said, I think this game is going to have a lot of fireworks between the 20s. Actually, I don't think I said that yet. I said that in my last video. I think it's going to have a lot of fireworks between the 20s. Both these teams are going to light up the stat sheet. But I do think there's going to be a lot of field goals in this game. But because it's a Thursday, less time to game plan, less time to scheme for the team specifically. That's why I think there's going to be a lot of field goals, because in the red zone, scheme beats scheme. It's all about coaching when you get down there and figuring out ways to punch it in and finish drives, because the field gets so condensed. You can't just go out athlete everybody like Tyreek Hill taking the top off the defense. So that's just an example. We're talking about Bills right now. I do think Josh Allen is going to go over on 22 completions because I do think they're going to be throwing a lot. It's going to be a high-paced game. There's going to be a lot of big plays going on, and Josh Allen is going to hit the over on 22 completions. That's just my prediction. If you don't like this pick, I understand it because based on this graph right here, it kind of looks stupid based on last week at only 18 completions. But I believe he's going to go over this. And if you look at the projection right here on props.cash, they believe he's going over it as well at 23.42 completions. That's a projected difference of 1.92 points. Props.cash thinks it. I think it. I trust Props.cash's projections. Like I said, with baseball, it has worked for me. And just my own personal knowledge of how Thursday night games go, I think there's going to be fireworks between the 20s. And Josh Allen will probably throw for, I'm going to say, 35 to 40 times. 22 completions is not unfeasible when you're throwing that many times. So Allen over on completions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you like this pick, if you don't like this pick, totally get it if you don't because that graph does not look good. But I'm taking the over. And then we're going to go over to receptions up here. And there's all his players right there. We're going to go down to Keon Coleman. Okay. People are talking about Keon Coleman like he is God's gift to football. And the Bills are these geniuses for passing on the receivers they passed on to get Keon Coleman. I'm actually in the opposite boat. I don't think Keon Coleman's that good. I've watched a lot of tape on this dude. I watched a lot of receiver film. Okay, that's what I do. I coach receivers. I was a receiver all the way through at the college level. Receivers is the one thing that I know in football better than anything else. And his technique and attention to detail just isn't there. That's for another video, though. I'm not going to get into that too much. I don't think he's that good, but he is their top draft pick this last season. He was picked in the early second round, so they're going to find ways to give him every chance in the world to succeed. 3.5 receptions is not asking a lot. Now, I know Amon-Ra St. Brown had 3 catches on Sunday night. That's one of the best in the game, and he only had 3 catches. That's rare. That's very, very freaking rare. Keon Coleman to get 3.5 receptions is not a ton, especially when you got Khalil Shakir on the other side. He's very underrated. Curtis Samuel wasn't that involved, but we'll see how they get him involved this week. I'm very curious to see how they're going to use him because he was not used very well or very much last week. Then we got Dalton Kincaid as well at tight end. The Bills have four guys that are good players with Coleman, Shakir, Curtis Samuel, and Dalton Kincaid, but there's no clear number 1 yet. So nobody really knows who to try to eliminate. Right now, Josh Allen, obviously, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I say he's top 3. He's the only player that scares people because none of these receivers have proven that they should be scary yet. So I don't think they're going to scheme to stop one specific player like the Bills might with Tyreek Hill. James Cook, right now, I think if I was going into this game planning against the Bills, I would try to shut down James Cook and make the Bills beat us. Make them beat coverage. Make them beat you man-to-man, whatever it may be. But 3.5 receptions, if Josh Allen is going over his 22 completions, I don't see a way that he does that without Keon Coleman going over 3.5 receptions, guys. And like I showed you with the projection on Josh Allen, Coleman is projected to go over just barely, though. He's projected at 3.53. So that line, I think, is fair based on what he did last week, what the projections are here. I think that's really one of the most fair lines I've seen in all of sports betting in a while on a player prop. So 3.5 receptions. Good job, guys. You set the line right. Some books have it at 4.5 right here. Fanatics has it at 4.5. I would hit the under on that one. Look at the odds there. On these player prop apps, guys, it doesn't matter what the price is on Dabble. 4 picks is 4 picks. It's 10x no matter what. Okay, so it does not matter if it's minus 300 and plus 400. The pick is the pick. Whether you win it or not is all that matters on Dabble because payouts are set. 4 picks is 10x. That's what we're getting on this, guys. Those are your 4 picks. Tua Tagovailoa, 266 yards. Jalen Waddle, over 64 yards. Josh Allen, over 22 completions. Keon Coleman, over 3.5 receptions. That's your slip. It's a 10x payout, guys. I'm putting 100 on it. 10x that. You guys know what that is. That's $1,000. Whatever your unit is, put your unit on it. I'm not going to tell you what to bet. Never going to advise you to bet a certain amount of money, of your hard-earned money, on a pick. I will advise you to bet one unit, half a unit, stuff like that. But everybody's unit is different. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, take however much money you can lose, however much money you can just afford to throw in the trash. Divide that by 100. That's your unit. Okay. If it's $100, your unit's $1. All right. So that's your pick, guys. That's your slip. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you don't want to leave a comment, my email is down here. Click on that email. Send me an email. Ask me any questions you guys want. Before I let you go, I do want to let you know my Game Day Pass is live again this week. It's a way for you guys to just try out my VIP picks without jumping into the full season price or the year-long price. It's $50 if you use code TUA. Right now it's half off for the first 25 people. So jump on that, because once those 25 slots are gone with that code, then it's back up to full price. But even at that $100, guys, we're going to win you guys that. Hopefully on Thursday with this 10x payout, but at least by Saturday, so that Sunday we're planning on house money. It's all going to depend on what your unit is. But if you're serious enough about sports betting, get in on that. Win with us this weekend, guys. Last weekend, college football Saturday was great. I'm not going to beat around the bush and try to lie to you guys. NFL Sunday was not great. We had a pretty bad day in NFL Sunday as far as player props goes. On the sports book, it was a little bit different. We ended up being down just a couple units, but on the player props side of things, we didn't do very well at all. I'm going to try to bounce back and do better for you guys this weekend. I've been grinding, studying lines, studying picks, studying stats, all that stuff, trying to get you guys the best picks, because I like to win too. And what I'm putting out to you guys, I'm putting in for myself, and I don't like to freaking lose. It's one of the things I hate more than anything in this world is losing. All right, so like I said, down here in the description, VIP and free bets are right there. If you don't want to pay anything, click on the free link, the free plan. You'll get all these picks that I put out like this on YouTube straight to your phone in case you don't have time to watch the video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.